Hi everyone and welcome to a brand new video here on the Helena and Martyn YouTube channel. So this video has come off of the back of quite a few comments that we get on our videos asking for the equipment that we use to vlog and to create our sit-down interviews. So what I thought I would do is just run through the list of what we've got, show it to you and explain what we use it for. So let's get cracking. So I think it's only right that we start right at the very beginning when we went to Orlando in 2016. The camera that we took, Helena had it for a few years before we actually used it for vlogging, and this is it. So this is the Panasonic DMC TZ35. And what I'll do is all the equipment that I mentioned, if I can find them online in store, then I'll pop all the links in the description below so you can take a look at their specifications and their details more thoroughly. So yeah, Panasonic DMC TZ35 Lumix. This was used for all of our videos up until we got the Canon G7X Mark II, and we got the Canon G7X to film our recent Orlando trip, so the one that we took this year, 2018. The few videos before that, so like planning videos, we were actually using the Canon G7X Mark II, which we'll talk about in a moment. So this camera was actually, you know, it did the job for so many videos. It's great in daytime. The only time it suffers is when it gets to the night, and it doesn't really pick out a lot. So in our Disneyland Paris vlogs, we wouldn't do a lot of vlogging at night because they just wouldn't pick it up. And also dark rides, we tried, but it's very grainy, very pixelated. But for during the daytime, we found this was fantastic. And actually, I still use this camera when I'm away from Helena and we don't have a spare Canon. Yeah, we still use it, it's still going. And I'm not even sure what year it is from, but it's been a fantastic camera and we've not had it fixed or anything. Just worked from day one. Doesn't have a flip screen, just have to look on the back and trust that you're in shot. So with that, you also need the charger, this Lumix charger. The great thing about chargers is that you can just go online, go onto Amazon, type in the type of camera that you've got, and then it'll just bring up a load of chargers and batteries that you can get. And they're not necessarily the ones that were made for the camera, but they are still usable. So we actually have two batteries for the Lumix and also the Canon, but the first battery will be the one that's branded, and then the other battery is actually a battery that's made by a different company but still works in the camera and lasts just as long. Yeah, we got two batteries for the Lumix because we found we were vlogging so much in Disneyland Paris that we'd run out of battery halfway through the day, so we'd need a spare so that we weren't panicking about missing out on footage. So let's move on to videos like this, our sit-down videos. Now normally we do use this. So this was actually given to me by my dad. He's an avid photographer, likes to take photos and has got a few different cameras, and he wasn't using this one anymore, so he allowed me very generously to use it. And this is a Nikon D5100. Normally I would set this up on a tripod, we'd have the softbox light on, and then we'd record using this camera. It's very difficult when you're on your own to focus it because it doesn't have one of those remotes, or I don't have one of those remotes to focus it while I'm sat down. So I have switched over to the Canon G7X Mark II to film this video because what was I doing yesterday? I was setting up cuddly toys and hoping they were the right height on the chair and trying to focus on their faces, and it sort of worked, but it wasn't as clear as I wanted. So to get the higher quality, I've used the Canon G7X Mark II. But yeah, so we have to do stuff with the aperture and do stuff with the ISO, but that's for a different video. This is what we use, the Nikon D5100, and with that obviously we have the charger. Now we've only got one battery for the Nikon D5100, and that's mainly because it doesn't come out with us and we don't use it for vlogging, so the battery tends to last a bit longer because we're just doing sit-down interviews with it. So let's keep on the theme of sit-down videos. Yes, we've got a tripod that the camera is set up on. Now unfortunately I can't remember where I got this tripod from, and I'm not sure of the make because it doesn't actually have a make on it. To record the sound, so the sound normally from the Canon G7X we keep, but for the sit-down interviews I just want a bit of a clearer sound, and so I've got a Rode NT USB microphone, which you can still find on Amazon. This is a good few years old now. I actually got it for podcasts that I used to do called Creativity Talks, and it's still the microphone that I use for another podcast that I do with my friend Bobby called The Canvas Chat, but we also use it for the sit-down videos to just get that clearer, that crisper sound. And it's nice and easy to use. You just plug the lead into the microphone, plug the lead into the laptop, which is a MacBook Pro in my case, open up GarageBand, select the Rode USB microphone and record. And that's where I get the sound, and then take the sound out of there, and then I put it over the clip, sync it up, and yeah, there you go. We get better sound quality. The microphone needs a stand in order to be in line with the level of my mouth and to pick up the right sound. If it's a bit too low, then sound might be a bit all over the place, but it's at a nice level. It's direct with my mouth. It's near the camera, and so it stands on a Adam Hall microphone stand. So let's talk lighting. So the first time we did a sit-down interview, we didn't have any artificial lighting. We just had light coming in from our bedroom window, and we realised that the quality wasn't very good on the video. So we thought, well, we'll invest in a softbox light. I think Helena actually spoke to Sophie from Sophie and Dave and found out what they'd purchased, and we managed to get, which is what we use now, a softbox lighting kit, and we got that for £20. And it's actually what we use still today. We've actually got a spare. The first one, it did break on us, so we had to buy another one. So we do have a spare, which I'll actually show you in a second. So this is the Yisip Tong Photo Studio softbox lighting kit. So this is the bulb. This is the bulb that goes into the casing, and this is what is used to light up the video. And then you've got this. This is the stand, so it doesn't look like it goes very high, but it does, because these undo and stretch out, so you can have it as high or as low as you want. And the way that we set it up is we set it up behind the camera and then have it pointing down towards us, so, and it's slightly out of the way, so we're not looking directly into it and we're not blinding ourselves. And then this is what the bulb goes into. So you got this, the bulb goes into here, then you've got a cover that goes over the front, so you're not staring directly into the light. It works by just plugging it in, and then there's a switch on it, just here. Flick the switch, and it turns on. So this is the covering that goes over it to stop the light from being so harsh. Great thing about it as well is that it all folds down and very easy to take to a different destination if you want to do some other videos. Some items that are very important: memory cards. I think we've got about 5 memory cards, and you can never have enough. So moving a bit more up to date now, when we went to Orlando, I was given a fantastic birthday present by my dad, and it is this. This camera we used in all of our water park vlogs. It allowed us to create some really in-depth vlogs at the water parks, something that we would not have been able to do if we didn't have this camera. Also, when it rained, we were able to transition over to this camera, and that's because it is the YI Light Sport Action camera, and it's got this waterproof casing as well. And it came with a tripod as well that my dad bought me. So this is what I got originally. And then I went online and actually found a big bundle of accessories that you could get, and it wasn't that much money either. So let me just show you what the accessories are, and then I'll talk a bit more about the camera itself. So in this box of accessories that I got off Amazon, got another floating tripod, another waterproof case, always good to have spares. We've got this, which I haven't used yet. This is actually a tripod that you can put in your car. This is something that I did use. This is actually for your wrist. So you can put it on your wrist, attach the camera, and then you can go down a water slide. This I haven't used yet, and this actually This is a headband. There you go. So you can attach the action light camera to the headband and film ahead. This is ideal if you're a cyclist. Got some spare holders that slip onto all the different equipment. And then this I also used, and it's a chest mount, and I used this going down a few rides in Typhoon Lagoon, and it's great because I could just relax, chill. Camera was doing all the work, camera was all just set up, I didn't have to do anything, I could just enjoy it. So let's go back to the camera itself. So the wire action light camera, let's take it out of the casing. So the casing is waterproof. So here it is, this is it on its own, and quality is great from this. I mean, it's not 100% fantastic in terms of sound, but that's not what you really need it for. If you're going to be doing like actiony stuff, then it's great for just recording it and then putting some music over. We have, though, when it's been raining, managed to get some decent sound out of it, and then once I tweak it in Final Cut, it sounds okay to put out. A great feature of this as well that I've not used enough is you can actually sync it up with your phone, and then you can watch on your phone what you are recording. So you could have this somewhere different, or you could have it on the chest mount, and where you're like, well, I can't see because I can't see behind it. Link it up to your phone and you'll be able to watch what it's recording. But this is one of the best things I have ever been given, so thank you, Dad. It allowed us to really capture the water parks in Orlando. The way you charge it, there's no battery that comes out, it's just got a little port here that you put the cable in. Plug the cable either into your laptop to charge, or plug it into an adapter plug and plug it into a main socket, and it'll charge that way. Doesn't take too long to charge either. Next, this is something that we used when we were last in Disneyland Paris, and we were so happy that we had this because I foolishly, and you'll find out in the vlogs, left the camera charger for the Canon G7X at home with the spare battery. So we were without a spare battery, without the battery charger. I was freaking out. We went to a supermarket to see whether they had the battery charger for the Canon. They didn't, so it was quite hard to get. But thankfully, Helena had packed this, and this is just a power bank charger that Helena got from, I think, Primark for a couple of £, and once you charge it up to the top, it lasts for ages. We were able to take this out to the parks once the camera went down to about 2 bars of battery. We then plugged this in, charged it up while we're having dinner or something. The Canon would then be good to go for the rest of the evening. So we were so happy that we had this. I wouldn't have included it if this incident hadn't have occurred at Disneyland Paris, but I think it's good to have something in reserve in case you do foolishly leave your battery charger at home. And also if you're going to be out all day and you're not going to have a chance to go back for the battery charger, it's nice to have one of these. And actually, I found out something to do with this lead that I will tell you in a second. Let's move on to the big guns. It's the camera that we use for all of the vlogs when we are together. It is the Canon G7X Mark II. It's the camera that we used while we were in Orlando. It's the camera that we used when we were last in Disneyland Paris. It is the camera that we will hopefully continue to use for many years to come. Canon G7X Mark II. And we got this based on what other vloggers were using, and we read reviews and said that it was superior to any other camera in the dark for vlogging, and without adjusting anything. And that's something that we've always wanted. We've wanted to do a lot more filming at night. We've wanted to capture dark rides at theme parks. We wanted better quality film of the fireworks at Disney. We just wanted better quality. So yeah, we went for the Canon G7X Mark II. And it is fantastic when it comes to nighttime shooting, when it comes to shooting in the dark. Whereas with the Panasonic Lumix, you would hardly be able to see us and it'd be so grainy. The Canon actually finds our faces and lights up our faces even in really dark situations. We're just so happy that we've got the Canon, and we got a few things to go with it to help with the vlogging. For my birthday, I got this. This is it's a tripod for the Canon G7X Mark II, but it's got this great bit at the bottom that you can really grip, and it's nice to hold on to. We used to have a tripod that went with this, and it was a really flimsy one with all these bobbles on it, and it wasn't really nice to hold, whereas this got a really strong grip on it, and you don't think like you're going to drop it, you don't worry about it falling off the top. So this is the Manfrotto mini tripod. We also got an item that a lot of people are a bit bewildered by when we're vlogging and we go up to them and they start stroking it. It looks like the camera's got itself a wig. It's a little bit of fur that's on the top of the camera, and it's actually right over the microphone, and it helps if it's windy outside to cancel out the wind. It's called a Micro Muff Skinny Wind Muffler, and if it's really windy, it does a great job of cancelling out that wind noise and focusing more on what you are saying to the camera. Without it, you would get a lot more of which isn't really nice to listen to. So this cable, I forgot the battery charger for Disneyland Paris, but then I thought to myself, how did I used to get footage off of cameras? And I used to get footage off of cameras by using a lead plugged into the laptop. And I remembered that also used to charge the camera. And a feature that they hadn't told you about with the Canon G7X Mark II is that you can also do that with the Canon. So there is a port on the Canon that you can plug this cable into. You plug this into your laptop or into an adapter and plug it into the wall, and the camera will charge. So you don't actually need to have with you the battery charger. And as soon as we found that out, I was so happy. Not gonna lie to you, there were tears when I realised that I'd forgotten the battery charger when we went to Disneyland Paris. Mainly because I knew that I was going to be proposing to Helena, and I wanted the holiday to be captured in the best way possible with the Canon, and I thought I'd ruined it all. But then I found out about this in the evening, and I was overjoyed. So we had this to charge the camera through the wall or through the laptop, and we also had the power bank to charge the camera as well. And then the final bit of equipment, it's not so much equipment, it's software. So I've got my MacBook Pro. Once we've done all the filming, I then put the memory card into the MacBook Pro. I then import the footage into Final Cut Pro, and that's what I use to edit the videos. What I have been thinking about doing is recording a video where I just tell you about how I personally edit videos. I'm not the greatest, I've just got my set way of how I edit videos, and I'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, Final Cut Pro is the software that I use, but you can, if you're starting out vlogging, use iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. And I think, fingers crossed, that is everything. I'm sorry, that's been a lot of information to take in. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I will link all of the items that we use in the description box and put links to where you can purchase them if you want to do so. You don't need all of this equipment if you're just starting out vlogging. You just need yourself a camera. You could even use your phone and then just a bit of software like Windows Movie Maker or iMovie, and just start from there. All of this stuff that we've got, we've just progressively added to our collection of equipment as we've gone along. So you don't need all the equipment in the world. We've not got a lot compared to some vloggers. If you've got any questions about any of the items I've talked about, then just leave a comment in the below section, and then I'll try and answer them the best that I can. I'm not a technical expert, but you never know, I might have an answer. Thank you so much for watching, happy vlogging, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye!